Alright, I'm going to start working on the seat back. You know, we already finished the bottom half of the seat, and we're tickled silly with it. We think it turned out great. And some of you guys might have seen that, some of you might not, so that's why I'm filming this. You know, I mean, if you already seen me do the bottom, you might not even want to see me do the top, so, or else maybe you just want to hang out. But anyway, that's up to you, and I understand that too. You know what I mean? It's like deja vu all over again. But we'll try to keep it interesting and maybe answer some questions that came up with the bottom half, and we'll keep going. Well, I got this all laid out where everything's going to be. That way, I can cut the patterns for it. And I'm not gonna put foam on this like I did the other one. The other one, I gave it a full, complete new foam job, you know, overlay. And I didn't do that only because I don't have much room between me and the steering wheel, and it's not because I'm big and fat. You know, I mean, I got your standard old man belly, but you know, there's just not much room there because you're in an enclosed cab and you can't slide back. You know, even the little dirt bike, you know, he's skinny as a rail, and he just barely fits in there. So we can't pack this up with foam. We just got to leave it the way it is. But I am going to cushion the sides, you know, because they're a little rounded and stuff. I don't mind. I do want a little bit of round, but some of it's too rounded. But there's in some spots there's no foam at all here. And when I put the outside here, I want it to be a little puffy, so I'm going to use the Dacron, and I'm going to need some kind of backing. Plus, some of this fabric is, you know, like up here where the sun hit it, it's you know, it's ripping and sun deteriorated. So I'm gonna put the foam around there, just an inch thick, just enough to give it a little stability. The rest of it has springs behind it, and this doesn't. So we'll show you. We'll take this and lay it on its back and show you what the back looks like. But let me go show you for you guys that didn't see the bottom. Let's go take a look and see what the bottom came out like, just to give you a peek. Whoop! Watch your step there, Road King. It's night. It's dark out. It's nighttime, and I think it's also raining. But we'll give you a look. I grabbed the light. Plus the lights just went off in the house. Plus I think this camera got a light. Oh. Just a second. I gotta readjust my camera here. All right. Yeah, for it switched over to dual shot, which means, you know, I could take pictures or video with it, and the light didn't work with that. So right now the light will work. But anyway, enough jibber jabbing. Let's take a look at it. Here's the light in my hand here. So, like I say, the bottom came out beautiful. You know, I'm really liking it. So let's go in there and we'll start doing the back and see how that comes out. You see, even there, you know, my legs fit under there, and there's room. But you know, here's the gas tank in the back of the seat, and the back of the seat's going to be 6 inches, so that doesn't leave much room. And I actually think that steering wheel might be smaller than the original, so that's where we're at. All right, let's go make some fabric. Let's go cut some fabric anyway. All right, here's the back of the seat. I'll just give you a quick look at this. It had 2 broken springs over here, and I welded them in place because they were broke up high. Matter of fact, let me go on the other side of the seat here. They were broken up here, so I put a little plate in there. Give me something to tack them to instead of just trying to tack them to themselves. So it won't have any effect on the strength of the spring itself. And then I also reinforced it and coupled it with 3 other good springs, so that should be fine. But this is the top here, and you can see they got some fabric there, and not much foam. And on the sides here they got foam, but You know, this is actually the cloth right here. So, you know, a lot of guys are wondering, so why don't you just take it all apart and just put new foam in? You know, I think I'll be okay with this because it's got the springs in it. It's got the structure, and you know, why make more work for yourself when this will be just fine. It'll work out just fine. You know, it's not like it's a customer job, and you know they're paying for it. You know, I'm gonna fix it the way I feel comfortable with. So, like I said, I'm just gonna put the foam just right along the edges, all along here, just to give it a little bit of a foundation. And then when I put the Dacron on, it'll just give it a little bit of a puff. So I think it'll be fine. It'll look okay. And on the bottom, I'm not going to put it on the bottom because you really don't need it, you know, because nothing is, you're not going to want to puff that out anyway. So that's where we're at. So let's go cut some fabric and we'll go from there. Alright, I think I just set up back here and I just got done cutting all the material and laying it out. It took a couple hours. You know, it's got to be right. So we'll show you what it's going to look like a little bit. Got your middle piece here. You see that? It's a little bigger than it should be because I got a seam allowance here and stuff like that. So it's about an inch bigger than it should be. And then these are the pleats. I don't know if you can see them, but I laid out all the pleats and everything. And I'm going to address a question. Somebody asked me about the marks on here. You know, how do you get them off, or what do I use and stuff? And we'll address that after we show you this. If we put this on, you see, even it's just got a seam allowance on the back, but this is a neat piece. This is tapered, a little bigger on the bottom than on the top. Nice radius. I like that. I enjoyed making that piece. All right. This one's going to go right here. Yeah, buddy. Looking better already. There you go. Excuse me, I'm going to have to get in your way here. Put this piece on. But there we go. So now all I have to do is sew the foam to the back. And we had another comment or questions about the foam. So let me roll this stuff up and get my bench out of the way, because I'm going to have to put spray adhesive on this, and then I'll address some of the questions. So don't go away. Alright, yeah, let's talk about this for a little bit. A couple of people asked what kind of marker or pencil I used on this this white stuff here. And one thing I tell you not to use is pencil, because I used pencil. I tried pencil on a small scrap piece and tried to get it off, and I just couldn't get it off. You know, I tried everything. I tried every kind of detergent I had, and I was able to get it off with the lacquer thinner, but that's not good for the vinyl. But anyway, you know, you have these water-soluble pencils, and let me get this out of the way here for you. Here's a scrap piece, and I got a blue one here, and the blue one's useless. The blue one don't leave a mark here at all. Can't see nothing. And there's a black one here. There's three different companies here. One just says water-soluble marking pencil, so that's like a generic Chinese one. And the white one works good. I use that on the turquoise. But here's a black one. This one's made by General, and it marks. You know, it does a good job marking. But you can't get it off. You know, it says right on there, water soluble. You know, and I got some water right here. You still watching? And it does remove some of it, but what it does is it makes more of a mess than anything. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and get on it. But man, it just messes it and smears it, and you know, you're going to be here for days trying to get that off. And like I say, it doesn't really come off. You know, I even used a little something with detergent in it, you know, like his Windex and stuff. You know, and that doesn't help that much either. You know, so you could scrub your balls off here and you get nowhere. But I'll show you what I found, and it works great. Right? Here's a piece of white. See how nice and white it is? What do I do with my pencil? Oh, there it is. Alright. I use this thing, they call it a, I don't know if you can see it, it's a Fisher Space Pen. You know, because you could use it, you could write upside down, you could write in the water, underwater, and I think it's, you know, I took it apart, and I think it's pressurized, you know, because it's got a little cap on the back. And that's why you can write upside down and stuff like that. But anyway, this pen actually went to space. Not this one I'm holding, but this was designed to go into space. But anyway, let me get this out of the way. You're right, and you could see, you know, this is silver. I don't know if you can see how easy and nice it writes on this vinyl. But you still watching? Alright. I don't know if you can see that. I wrote my name on there for you. But all you do is hit this with a little Windex. You don't even have to wipe it off. And look at that, it's gone. Gone completely. It's crazy. So that's what I use. I use, and they're cheap too. And by cheap I mean, you know, as far as marking pencils go and magic markers, it was like $8 for that or something. So, you know, like I say, the black one, forget about the black one, writing on this. You know, once you put the thread down and stuff, you're never going to get around it or in between or get the black off it at all. And this Space Pen works great. So, like I say, I'm gonna put a link in the description for this. And if I forget, somebody remind me. But that's one thing. Somebody asked about the pencils. A couple of people asked about what I write on it. And like I say, don't use pencil, because it doesn't come off that easy. Don't come off at all. Then I had a couple more comments. Get this out of the way here. Excuse for the fumbling and bumbling, but I just grabbed this real fast. Yeah, somebody asked about a lock stitch. You know, that's when you first start a stitch. You know, you go up and back, and it goes over itself and locks the stitch in there so it won't unravel. And somebody said, how come you don't put a lock stitch in? I think 2 or 3 people said that. And the reason is because why put a lock stitch in up here when I'm going to cut it off? This is excess off of the other piece. I knew, and I made it oversized because you don't know exactly how much your material is going to come in unless you calculate it, and that's a pain in the neck. So I just start doing it without even worrying about the lock, because it's not gonna come unraveled that far. You got 3 inches there, and the sides it actually gets locked when you do the cross stitch around there. And I usually get the 2 cross stitches because on the seam allowance here I stitch it down, and that squeezes the foam together, and it makes it easier to go through the machine. So that's going to lock the stitch in. You know, I do that around the whole thing, so that locks the stitch in. And then when you put the 2 pieces of material together and stitch it, that's gonna lock it in. You know, with the piping and everything else. So that's why I don't lock it. You know, to start it. But it does get locked, and it's not going to unravel. And then a couple other guys asked, he goes, how come you don't put any back material in? Doesn't the stitch pull through? And it don't, because this foam, this pink foam, where you at, over here? This pink foam, they call this Scrim Foam. You know, and a lot of guys saying, how come you don't use scrim material underneath? But you do, you buy it this way. And you can't really see it because it's so fine and everything. But it comes on the material already. It's like a gauze. And it sews right through that, and that'll hold your stitch. You know, I could rip that out, but who's going to do that? Here we go. So that's the answer to the question. You know, you buy it like that, it's already on there, it's already glued on there. You're paying a little more for the foam, but you know, that's it's well worth the money. So that's an answer to them questions. So now what we got to do is I got to glue the fabric to the foam, and then we can start sewing it up. So I'm going to glue that down, and we'll get back to you after that. Alright, we'll show you how I do this. This is the pleated panel. I use the cheap stuff. This is 3M. You know, it's good stuff because 3M makes it, but it's one of their cheaper and less tackier ones. But it's good for this because this is going to get all this thread holding this thing on. But if you do a piece that isn't getting pleated, I'd say use a better, higher quality of spray glue. But this works good. Works good for this. You know, and you don't need much. Let me get this out of the way. Now we spray this. Like I say, this just holds it in place while you sew the pleats in. What's nice about this, if you put it down and it's not where you want it, you can actually move it. Okay. Alright, I'm going to do all the rest of the panels. I'm not going to show that to you because you can just watch this one, keep watching this one over and over again if you want to see that. Alright, I'll see you when that's done. Or maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll put some pleats in tomorrow. Alright, regardless, we'll see you later. Alright, yeah, here's a case where you want to use maybe a better kind of adhesive, you know, like this stuff here. You're talking $14 a can here and $6 a can here, and you can tell a good one from a bad one. Well, not a bad one. You know, they're just different strengths. Like this one here, this comes out as a mist, and you'll see when I use this one, it comes out like a cobweb, and that's where you get your strength. You know, and I think that will hold up better on a bigger open panel like that. You know, because there isn't going to be any stitching holding this in other than the edges. And you know, when it gets hot and everything, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if that's going to, you know, separate or from sitting on it. You know, but just gives you a little extra strength there. So, a little tip of the day. Tip of the day. You still there? All right, watch the cobwebs come out here. And it's easy to keep track of this, so you don't get overspray over everything. Okay. A little more expensive, but it's worth it. Right? How many times are you going to do it? Do it right the first time. Alright. Let that air dry for a little bit, and then we'll put the other piece on. Don't go away. Alright, you still there? Let me get a little air and we'll hit this the thicker stuff here, and then we'll throw it on there. Okay, already did that to the top piece here. I don't think this is much larger than my sheet of foam here, so okay, let's give it a try. Getting close. Here we go. Ah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All this excess pink here gets trimmed off. Alrighty. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll do some pleating. Alright. It's another day, and I got this foam all trimmed up here. So we're all ready to go. We'll take it inside and we'll sew the pleats, and then we'll sew these the centerpiece in and the end pleats on. And then we'll see what we got. Alright. See you guys inside. Alright. I got you set up back here. We'll start with the pleats. I know it looks dark, but that's only because the camera is taking its exposure off of that main light down there, and it makes the rest of the room look dark, but the rest of the room is actually pretty bright. So let's go try this. Alright, I'm going to put a lock stitch in here. I didn't do that with the other one because I trimmed it afterwards. This time I trimmed everything first. So I'm going to throw a lock stitch on the top and bottom of each one of these. Alright, that's pretty good. I just heard something hit the ground. I don't know what that was. Let's try another one. Alright. That was even better. That was even better than the first one. Okay. Each one you do gets better. One more time, and we'll let you guys go. Alright, it's going to go backwards. And let it go forward.
Yeah, buddy. Alright. Yeah, it looks like it ran off a little bit. But once you clean up the markings, you never know. You never see it. I mean, it's straight as an arrow, so. Alright, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I got about 18 more of them to do, so I'll do them and then turn these back on. Alright, I see what it was. I see what fell on the ground. My other color. Alright. Alright. I brought you out here. It's a little brighter. You can see what we did. And you're happy with they turned out. You know them lines we put in there? If you hit that with the thread pretty straight, you don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about taking it out. So I get lucky. Alright. Next thing we're going to do, let me get some of the stuff out of the way. Alright. I don't know if you noticed, but I put a raggedy stitch around the edge here. What that does is it compresses my foam, because this is 1/2 inch foam. So if you put two of these pieces together, 1/2 inch foam, you got an inch, and then you got another I don't know, 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch if you put a piping in there and stuff, and it just ain't gonna fit under the foot that well. So by running a stitch here in the seam allowance, it squeezes this stuff together and it fits under the foot a little better. So that's what that is. And that gets cut off at the end anyway. If you sew it together, you're going to cut off that little thing as close to the seam as you can. So, alright, let me see. Let me show you what we're going to do next. The next thing we'll do is get these two pieces here and staple them together. And before I staple them, it makes it a lot easier for me is I clip them together. And these clips are pretty big. I've seen some guys use clips and just take them off as they go, but I'm not that good. Remember, I don't know what I'm doing here, so I'm just showing you things that made working a little easier for me. You know, this way I can match up that material perfect. Okay. Should have another one here. I should have an old-fashioned one here. Look at that. This one's made in the USA, but these Chinese ones are actually a little stronger. So that'll hold everything together for me. And then I staple them together. But what I do is, you see the little foot on the bottom here? A lot of people don't know that, but this foot spins. And this will give you a clamping type of staple. And this one will flare it out the other way. And by flaring it out the other way, it makes it much easier to pull out if you have to pull it out. Like I said, when I put them in here, I'm going to cut it off, so I probably won't have to take them out, but see, that holds it together enough for me to send it through the machine and keep it from wiggly waggling. But let me get another one of these here so I can show you what's going on. Like I say, when you flip that thing around, let's see. Let's just see it this way, so we'll do it this way. Alright, yeah, when you alright, when you flip it around there, let me see if I can come up closer for you. You guys, I stapled it right on the stitch. Let me give you another staple. Let me give you another one so you don't have to strain your eyes. Okay, there you go. Alright, what you got? Right here. You see the staple? It almost acts like a pin itself. You just grab it with a plier and pull it right out. So, you can go around and do that, and it's just like a pin. So that's your tip of the day. Not that I know what the hell I'm doing. It's just that's something that been making things a lot easier for me. So, all right, let's go inside. I'm gonna finish stapling this together, and I'm gonna bring it inside, and then we're gonna sew it together. All right, we're back inside here, and we have to change the thread. I'm gonna take the white off and put the turquoise on. But here's something I picked up along the way. It's pretty interesting. You know, it takes about a minute or two to change the thread on this. You know, because you gotta go through the loop here. You gotta come off of the, you know, the spool through this hoop, down here through the little hole, down around here. Is this on? Here we go. Down around here you got a little pigtail, and then down here you got to go through a couple of holes, a couple of whoop-de-doos, and then down here around the tensioner, and back up here around another loop-de-loo. Then that goes down to your needle here. But I picked up something, and the pros do it, the seamstresses, and some people that do it all day long and have to save time. Even though that will take me a minute or two, it would take a pro about 10 seconds to change that thread and get going. So let me throw you up on a tripod and I'll show you. It's a pretty cool trick. So simple. It's ridiculous. Alright, you still with me? What they do is they take the thread and they cut it off, put the other one in its place. Find the end here. Can't even find the end of the thread. Let me cut this shorter for a second. It's going to take me longer to do it this way than if I did it normal. Alright, now what they do is they take the new thread and the old thread, where you at, and tie them together. Just tie a knot in it. Make sure it's tight. That should be tight enough for what we're going to do. And hook it there. And let me take you off here. You guys still with me? Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, so they tie it together. And then come down here. And get the thread, pull it out of the needle, and then they just pull it. And look at it, it's coming through here, going through the needle, going through there. I lost track of it. I had the tension wrong. Let me take the tension wrong. And then keep pulling it. It goes through here, and here it is. It's coming out down the bottom. And they just cut that off and put it through the needle, and they're done. That's interesting. Interesting the little tips and tricks you get when you do something for a living. But pretty cool. Alright, let's get back to work. Alright, yeah, I forgot to turn you guys on. I already did the sides, the two wings. So I'm doing a center now. Well, let me turn you around so I can see you. I gotta walk all the way around the table. Alright. See, it just barely gets under the foot there. Just oiled my machine. Looks like I got a wheel on there. oil on the fabric here, on the foam. No biggie. Alright, let me put the other wing on, or let me put the other half on here, and then we'll go out in the garage and try it on for size. Come around here and turn these off. Alright, I got you set up. You're about 10 foot away, so I hope you can hear me. Let's try it on for size. Alright. Let's put it on. Put it on right first. Alright, let me find the center here. It's about where we want it. I'm not going to put a whole lot of these pins in, just enough to hold it down and see where we're at here. Just pulled all my pins out. I should know better than that. An experienced upholsterer like myself. Alright, line up right where it should be on that side. So right over here. Alright, we're looking good. Where we should be. I'm coming around here with you guys. Alright, this is where we got to put tail on and pull that down and under, and then up top you got a little shelf up there. So, alright, we're fitting good. Now what I got to do? Let me lift this up and show you. I gotta. Can you see something here? I don't know how to take these staples out. I just gotta cut right along that seam. You know, like leave maybe about an 1/8 inch between the seam. And that'll smooth things out. That way you don't have a bump. Not that you would, but that's what I gotta do now. But this video is probably getting pretty long, so we'll cut it here, and then the next time we'll put foam around the top there, and this top piece that wraps around has got to be custom made after all this is stitched in, not stitched in, but you know, held in place. And we actually got to make a template on the top there to make everything fit right. So, alright, like I said, we're going to end this one here, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging with us.